Hey everybody, how you doing today? My name's Chris, and I thought today I would take you on a super quick ride. This is kind of my go-to, if you only have a half an hour, go get out of the valley and check out the mountains helicopter ride in my 1997 Enstrom F28F helicopter, which is right over there. I've been flying this helicopter for about 5 years now, and it's kind of an unusual one. You might have seen a couple of Enstroms online, but not too many. Anyway, great little helicopter, great, one of the best piston-powered helicopters, especially for flying around here. I'm in Utah, and we're flying out of Bountiful Skypark, which is about 4,220 feet. So, not the highest, not like Telluride or something like that, but still, it's getting up there. So anyway, we're basically going to go up and just do a quick flight, kind of ride the ridge line a little bit up above Skypark, and then head back. And this is kind of an experiment. I'm a super fan of all the aviation content out there. The Trent Palmers, the flight chops, angle of attack, all that kind of stuff. So I'm totally going to screw up a bunch of stuff, and hopefully you can let me know what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong. Utah by 5 up there. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, we've got her out. We've pre-flighted, and we're ready to go. One of the most common questions I get asked is, we're taking off from here? And yeah, we're just pulling it out of the hangar, and we're just gonna lift off right from here. Right on the other side of those hangars is the runway, and airplanes are coming and going there. But anyway, this is a 1997 Enstrom F28F. Enstrom makes a couple of different piston helicopters. The F28F, like this one, and then there's a 280FX that has a spar down the middle. They call it the Shark. It's kind of got a longer nose. A tad bit faster, but basically same engine, same rotor, same almost everything. But just the shape makes it a little bit faster. But I like this one because it gives you an unobstructed view up in the of the front. 3-bladed. It's a fully articulated rotor system. So that means that each blade can lead and lag and flap. And so some advantages to that, but basically mast bumping's a non-issue. There goes somebody. Diamond. That's from the flight school here. Unblocked tail rotor, so it's got a ton of tail rotor authority. It's turbocharged. Produces 225 horsepower up to, well above the service ceiling, which is 13,000 feet. There's the turbocharger in there underneath the heat shield. I've got one pesky oil leak under my valve cover there, but I got this about 5 years ago from a guy who's a real character, Roger Sharkey, in New Hampshire, and flew it back across the United States from New Hampshire with my dad, who since passed away, but we had a great time. Anyway, hey guys, how you doing? Closer look at the rotor head, which is kind of unusual on this thing. For one thing, there's just one mast. Normally you'd have a bunch of long control rods going up that would connect to these pitch horns that would, you rotate these up and down. That's where the blade twists, and most helicopters have those kind of on the outside of the mast. Enstrom puts them on the inside. Hang on, get up here without falling off. And so you have these pitch horns connect to these now I can't remember it, but these little connecting rods that teeter back and forth, and then the control rods actually go down the center of the mast. And, you know, the only complaint I've heard about that is, you know, it can be hard to get in there and inspect them, but I love the way that they are protected inside that mast, because nothing is going to get to them. Where if you had a bird strike or something like that, and like an R22, those are definitely fairly fragile, you know, and not something, if you actually had one break, that would probably be the end of you. But anyway, kind of an unusual setup up here. You got these oleo dampeners. That dampens the lead and the lag of the blade, and then they can flap on this hinge point up and down as well, and do. Maybe some other time I'll show you the swash plate and kind of the crazy, interesting mechanics of how helicopter blades do what they do. But anyway, a little bit about Enstrom. Okay, got our pre-flight ready. We're just about ready to go. We're going to do our startup. I've had a little bit of trouble lately with this starting. It's fuel injected IO 360, super common engine. It's common in helicopters, it's common in airplanes, but for some reason this one's always been finicky starting, but I think we've got it worked out, so we'll see. Wish me luck. This could be the shortest video ever. Okay, we actually got it started. Not too bad. Had to give it a little more gas. The rocking that you get is called, they call it the Enstrom Shuffle. This thing is sitting on oleo struts, basically air nitrogen shocks. So until you lift off and the rotor gets all synced up and balanced, it will be out of balance. And so you get this rocking while you're sitting on the ground. It'll get steadily worse until we lift off, then it'll go away. Actually, basically you have two sources of spark for the engine, two different magnetos. It's just a redundancy thing, and you check each one in the startup. Now I'm going to check the sprag clutch. So basically we have a freewheel. If the engine quits, the rotor's going to keep spinning, which is a very good thing. You wouldn't want that. Stop. But we basically are splitting the needles between the engine tachometer and the rotor RPM. Engine drops, rotor keeps spinning. All right, everything's looking good. All engine temps are in the green. Oil pressure's good. We got plenty of fuel. Done. Okay, instruments for proper indication. We're seat belts and doors are latched. Fuel valves on, mags are on both. Boost pump is on. Mixture is about set where I want it. Caution lights are out except for low rotor. Anti-collision lights on. Okay, friction's coming off. Collective. Basically, run it up to the operating
Skypark
speed.
Diamond Star 457 Tango Lima west of the Centerville interchange 5,500 northbound Skypark.
Okay, see how that just smoothed out real nice once we lift it off? Like bumpity, 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 and then smooth. Okay, we're sitting at hover. Looks like maybe my extra is just a little bit lean because my turbo inlet temperature 1500 while hovering, but that's okay. We'll fix that here in just a minute. There we go. my noise canceling. That up just a tad. Okay, that looks better. Skypark traffic, helicopter 6 Romeo Mike, taxiing from northeast hangars to hold short 35 at the north. I don't like that piece of plastic that is just blowing around there. Okay, it went away. This is a little higher than I'd normally hover, but I just want to stay out of the way of that. Little things, I mean, you don't want them to get in the rotor. Little piece of plastic like that, probably fine. Okay, I can see one plane over in the run-up. That's it. I don't hear anybody else in the pattern. I don't see them on ADS. Skypark traffic, helicopter 6 Romeo Mike, taking active 3-5 for an eastbound departure. Basically, it's just up and away. Robinson's, some other helicopters, you kind of do a run real low and then you rotate and then go up. This one, it's more positive altitude, positive acceleration. That's it. Up and forward. We're going to climb right up along these mountains. This road basically is called Skyline Drive. It's a really cool drive in the summertime. You go up all the way along the ridge line. In the wintertime, it ends up here a little ways. There's a gate, but people ride snowmobiles up. I do kind of like this little route up the hill because, you know, worst case scenario, engine stop right here. A lot of the time when you're going along the ridge line, this will actually glide fairly well. But right here, engine stop, we'd put it down on that road right there. I've seen people sledding on this hill, like all the way from the ridge line, sledding all the way down. And snowmobilers definitely go up it, but doesn't that look like the best the best sledding hill? That would be fun. Okay, we've been flying for 6 minutes, and we're already at the ridge line. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Out to my left, to the west, that's the Great Salt Lake. It's a huge, great salty lake. It's one of those things that, like, people that live around here don't think it's that cool, but it's actually really cool out there. It's super interesting. There's some neat islands out on the lake. There's an awesome state park called Antelope Island State Park, where they've got buffalo and antelope and coyotes and deer, all kinds of stuff. It's pretty neat. On a future flight, we'll go out there. Great place to play around and fly. Right here, we're cruising along the ridge line, coming up to Bountiful Peak.
Skypark traffic, Cherokee 57 X-ray, Centerville interchange 6,600, off frequency for Bravo transition. Skypark traffic. Northern traffic experimental 787 Hotel Foxtrot is 8.5 miles north of the field at 6,500 feet, setting up for a left 45 runway 35.
We're 9,100. So we've gained almost a mile of elevation from where we took off. I'm going to slow it down. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not, but there's a real funny thing on the top of Bountiful Peak here. It's basically there's a toilet seat and a little throne straight off of our nose there. Little reward for anybody that hikes up. A little breezy up here, right along the ridge line. It usually is. It's one of the reasons I like coming up here, because you can kind of cruise right along the ridge line. The wind will blow up here, and your power requirements are like very low. This is Farmington Canyon right here. That's the other side of, if you followed it all the way around, and then you could come down Farmington Canyon on this road here. It's interesting that the wind seems to be totally the opposite direction up here that it was down below. We're getting a tailwind up here. Yeah, it's interesting.
Skypark traffic, Sport Cruiser 6380 Charlie, taxiing from Wonderful 35 Skypark.
Yeah, now it's saying flight head this direction.
We're going to stop our traffic, Cherokee 57 X-ray, we're 2 miles.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. We're getting a little bumps, little rollovers from this right here.
On Skypark, on the west side of I-15, Skypark traffic.
I think we're actually getting a little bit of wind from the east, which is weird. Yeah. We're to go over here and pretend that this is the landing spot of this pinnacle up here. And we're going to do two crosses, one going one direction and the other, and compare our airspeed versus our ground speed. Right now, it's saying I've got about a 10-mile-an-hour headwind in the direction that I'm going. Going almost directly, going east-southeast. Yeah, it's saying 14-mile-an-hour headwind from 066, about right there. Yeah, 14 miles an hour. 066. Put that in our head. And now we'll swing it around and go the other way. Direction, we've got about an 8-mile-an-hour reduction in our ground speed. Yeah, I think we're definitely wind from the east. That's weird and very unusual. Not very often that we get a wind.
Skypark traffic, Sport Cruiser 6380 Charlie, departing off the departure leg, climbing up to 5,500 Skypark.
Last call sets up. 67 Hotel Foxtrot will be east full stop.
Now we can look at our heading bug and get an idea of where the wind is coming. Out off of our nose right here. And when you get that wind coming, blowing up this slope like this, requires very little power to hover. Hovering with 22 inches of manifold.
Off at 5,900 departure leg, northbound.
Skypark traffic, Sport Cruiser 6380 Charlie, 1 mile west of Centerville Interchange at 5,500 northbound Skypark.
Do a little approach to this. To this peak right over here. If the winds were really strong, we'd be cruising along the other side of the ridge and probably make a steeper approach to the ridgeline, following the sort of point where the wind is still smooth blowing up from the ridgeline. There's a line of, they call it a line of demarcation that where the wind basically separates into, from linear kind of flow into kind of a, tumbling curl. In this case, there's not really enough of it to affect us either way. Like a good spot. Somebody came up in the automobile. There we go. We've landed at 8,600 feet. Not too bad for a piston-powered helicopter. Okay. Off we go. There's an acronym for evaluating your landing point. I can remember, but I believe it's watt feel. It's winds, obstacles, wires, fences, things like that, terrain, fly in, fly out, how you're going to go in, how you're going to go out. Also, forced landing. If you're going to have to abort at the last minute, where are you going to go?
For traffic out 761, turning base to final 21.
Entry, exit, and landing point. City's right behind us, also going around this ridge line, it looks like. Yeah, about 2 miles behind us. I'm going to set down right here and see who it is. Most of these places.
Traffic 79 uniform Sierra, left downwind 35.
Now it says 500 feet below us. Now they're 700 feet below us. They went by. I'm not sure who that was. I'm not going to shut it down because I don't really trust the starting, especially hot starts, especially it's almost sunset. I don't want to spend the night up here. Okay. So in-ground effect hover, 25 inches of manifold pressure. Here we've got half fuel, which is 20 gallons. And me, 100, probably with my clothes, 170 pounds. So we're well under gross, pretty light, but still, 8,500 feet, 25 inches of manifold pressure, we can really do a vertical takeoff. Not too shabby. Pretty cold up here. 22 degrees Fahrenheit.
He's right over to Chief Pond. We're going down to 5,500. We're looking for the Skypark traffic. Sierra 49 Papa X-ray, rolling runway 35.
All right, well, that's about our tour. I'll probably head back down in just a minute. Go over here, though, and check out Grandview Peak quick.
Traffic, Diamond Square 704, Papa Alpha, departing the pattern from runway 35, will be departing towards the north, 5,300 climbing.
Last time I was over here, there were a bunch of snowmobilers playing around in this whole basin.
Nice Tango Sierra, we're going to head inbound, so we'll get out of here. Skypark traffic.
This is Grandview Peak over here. It's one of the prominent peaks. If you go up, if you're looking up City Creek at the very end of the canyon, this peak. It's very picturesque. It's one of the most beautiful peaks in the northern part of the range. We've talked about skiing this a number of times, but it's kind of a hike to get back in here. So we just haven't done it. But that's City Creek Canyon right down there to the left. I see some tracks along the ridgeline here. Somebody made it up here. That looks like a snowshoer.
Oregon traffic, 49, the field is finishing 6,700, putting up a practice RNAV 35, see if we can squeeze into the traffic.
So I'm assuming the wind
Squeeze in for downwind runway 35.
is going to be bordering off my left. It's saying 7-8 degrees. Yeah, somebody made it up to the peak. $9,400 feet. Winds from obstacles. The peak is clear. Terrain. Pick your poison, but we can go off to the right. Forced landing. We're going to have to go off to the right, glide as far as we can to the basin. Entry from the east, from the west to east. Exit, we sail off to the right down this terrain. Landing point, right where the snow showers. Obstacles, no obstacles to go. Well, we've touched our skids. Stop. And we're hovering with about, in this upslope, upflowing wind, we're hovering with about 25 inches of cold pressure. Boy, you can see the snowpack is pretty wind blown and sun. Okay. Altitude over airspeed. Now we'll head back. That was cool.
Traffic 420 Foxtrot Papa is 5 miles southwest of the field, flying south towards Logan at 10,000 feet, descending to 5,500.
That's Pretty Mountain. Pretty Creek Canyon is a beautiful place. Right here, this is about pull down collective. We're gliding right now. This is about what it would feel like if we had an engine failure. Of course, you wouldn't have the exhaust note, but you would have the speed of RPM. So, you know, we'd have to pick a spot. That spot right over there, that would look pretty good to me. In an emergency, it's fairly flat. I'd bring it out right here. I'd swing it around. I'll wait till I had the spot made. I'd have to weave it around a little bit. Come back here, bring it back in here, we'd do a flare. And we'd set it down in here. Yeah. Probably hit some scrub oaks and stuff like that with our blades. Probably do some damage, but we would come to a stop at almost zero airspeed. It would be, seriously doubt, if we were injured, it'd be a fluke. Skypark traffic, helicopter 6 Romeo Mike's at the Northeast Refineries, 5,000. Entering a right downwind 435, Skypark. I think we got 3 bald eagles right here. Yep, 3 eagles right there. They come from this Farmington Bay Wildlife Refuge. That's the second time I've seen 3 eagles right here. Now we're coming into Thunderbird Drive, which is this road that's just east way. Just coming in slowly. I didn't see anybody on that road, but oh, there's Alex. Blow the snow off in front of the hangar. Okay, that was our short little trip up along the Bountiful Ridgeline. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.